presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
Red unis, blue jerseys, road grays, it doesn't matter. Indian starters love to pitch at Tropicana Field. Mike Clevenger followed up Carlos Carrasco's gem with one of his own, shutting out the Rays for the 5th time in their last 8 games. Today, Tampa will stare down Corey Kluber, who is on a historic strikeout run. We're ready to boogie down in St. Pete next on Sports Time Ohio. One final game here in St. Petersburg, Florida, as the Indians try to take 3 out of 4 from the Tampa Bay Rays indoors at Tropicana Field. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Indians starting pitching. We have seen these guys get on a roll where they feed off of each other, and it's probably no coincidence that they've gotten hot right here in this building because they've had a lot of success here in the past.
They certainly have, and you're exactly right. They are feeding off each other. You can see in the last 5 games a 3-0 record, an ERA of under 1, opposition not hitting much at all, and the strikeouts are rolling, man. 47 strikeouts, just 7 walks, and then it's all anchored by Corey Kluber. He's been out there, and he has been on such a tear. How can you not feed off of this guy when he goes out there to start? The slider's been as good as anybody's in baseball. The strikeouts have been piling up. He goes out there, if you can't win, it's a must-win when he's on the mound because he's been so good. 7-1 in his last 13 starts and 11 strikeouts and 5 straight starts. That hasn't happened before.
On paper, it looks like a favorable matchup for the Indians because you've got Corey Kluber going and you've got a Tampa team that far and away leads the American League in strikeouts in terms of their hitters. So we'll see how it plays out today. Al and Jensen are up next in the studio. We'll check in with Andre all ahead of today's first pitch here in Florida. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nature Stone, the only concrete solution. Tropicana Field here in St. Petersburg, Florida, for the finale of this 4-game series here this afternoon between the Indians and the Tampa Bay Rays. Well, we didn't have a chance to make it to the beach during our visit here to St. Petersburg, but that didn't keep Andre Knott from doing a little deep sea fishing. Let's send it out now to our pal Andre Cousteau.
Thanks, Matt. The Rays are in the process of going through one of their worst offensive slumps ever. They've only scored 8 runs in the last 8 games, and today they go against one of the premier pitchers in baseball in Corey Kluber. I sat down with Corey earlier this week to talk about in-game adjustments and what has helped him pitch so well over the last month and a half. In today's Hear Right Sounds of the Game.
I think it's something that you learn over time. You know, I think you kind of learn to identify things a little bit quicker and, you know, make adjustments, maybe pitch to pitch as opposed to inning to inning, things like that. For a pitcher, you know, you can kind of learn to read guys' swings or kind of read their approach, and there might be times where you go into it with a certain plan and that's not necessarily the case, so you got to be able to, you know, adjust on the fly and not be bound to what a scouting report says.
All righty, thank you, Andre, and we've watched him deal here recently. He has been unbelievable. Let's take a look at the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for today, Austin Pruitt, 27 years old. He is 6-3 and a .514. He has been up and down about 3 different times, but this guy has had to pitch against some tough pitchers. His last 3 have been all-stars, Keuchel, Sale, and now he's going to pitch against Kluber, and we'll see what he has to offer today.
The Indians starting lineup for Terry Francona brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Francisco Lindor in the leadoff spot. Austin Jackson batting second. Jose Ramirez is third. Encarnacion, Jay Bruce, Carlos Santana in the middle. Yan Gomes, Bradley Zimmer, and Giovanni Urshela rounded out. And we are ready to go as Lindor steps in. Frankie has gone 3 for 12 in the series. He's also drawn a couple of walks. And Austin Pruitt's first pitch is a fastball away, ball 1. Pruitt, fastball, slider. He'll feature a curveball and a changeup. Pops the fastball up. Right there near the pitcher's mound, Longoria back in the lineup defensively for Tampa today. Makes the catch for out number 1.
Let's check that Rays defense, brought to you by WB Mason. And it looks like this. Dickerson back in left, Smith in center, Souza over in right, same as it's been all series. But Longoria is back in there today. Berea is at short, Miller at second, Morrison is at first, Sucre doing the catch.
Mark Ripperger is calling the balls and strikes today. Greg Gibson at first, Vic Carapazza at second, crew chief Phil Cuzzi down at third. Austin Jackson steps in. And another fastball in there for a strike from Austin Pruitt.
Yeah, this guy's a strike thrower. First pitch strikes on the air, 66%. He's only walked 12 in his 49 innings, but he struck out 42, so he likes to pitch from in front of the count.
Austin Jackson laces one into left center field, but Dickerson is there to make the catch. 2 down. Today's storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Indians hitters, second fewest strikeouts in the AL. Rays hitters have punched out the most. Over 1,100 strikeouts for Kevin Cash's club coming into today, and now they're facing Corey Kluber. Quite a daunting task for them.
Well, that's the kind of offense they don't mind. They want you to hit the ball out of the ballpark, and they don't worry about the strikeouts. But in this series, there have been a lot of them.
Jose Ramirez. Another fastball in there for a strike. Perhaps the more aggressive strike throwing approach has served Austin Pruitt well, because in his last 2 starts, he's only given up 1 run. And those starts were against the Astros and the Red Sox.
Yeah, this kid's done a nice job. He's been out of the bullpen and starts, but in his 4 starts, he has a 2.66 ERA, which is very well, you know, compared to a 6.91 in 17 relief appearances. So sometimes it's hard to figure out, but he goes out there and he's been aggressive.
And down on strikes is Ramirez. So Austin Pruitt with a 1-2-3 top half of the inning. Rays coming to bat against Corey Kluber next.
On starting pitcher, Corey Kluber on the mound for the Indians today, his 20th start on the year. And Kluber 10-3 at 2.65 ERA. You look at the numbers, everything's unbelievable. 195 opposition against. In his career in this ballpark, he's 1-1 in 3 starts with a 3.22.
And the Tampa starting 9 for Kevin Cash is presented by Hankook Tires. Corey Dickerson leading it off. Lucas Duda back in the DH spot will hit second. Evan Longoria returns to the lineup batting third. Logan Morrison, Steven Souza Jr., Brad Miller in the middle. And Eddie Echeverria, Malik Smith, and Jesus Sucre, who caught the series opener, is behind the plate batting ninth. Kluber winds it up, and his first pitch is hit to left. On the run, Austin Jackson makes a fantastic catch, reaching out and snaring that, saving extra bases to start the ball game. Wow, that was a gem by Jackson.
And that ball's slicing away from him. You can see where the hitters want to be aggressive already. The very first hitter, he had a long way to run for that ball. I'd say about 80-90 feet. Once he gets on his horse, he's able to stab it before he goes into the corner over there, and a nice running play by Jackson.
Boy, what a luxury it is to have such a versatile veteran outfielder who can play center. He's played right. Now we see him in left running one down.
He can do it all, man. Well, you got to be ready. They're probably talking to him from that bullpen over there, I think.
Here is Lucas Duda. Swinging over the top, and it's 0-2.
I'm already being small. Come on, baby.
Duda lifts one high and foul and out of play. Corey Kluber has punched out 10 or more in 5 straight starts for the second time this season. That is the franchise record, and he's already done it twice.
Yeah, it's, you know, when you watch him pitch, it's just amazing. You don't think about it, but he gets to 4 or 5 pitches and he has a strikeout. He doesn't have to work very hard for him because, oh, it nicked him.
It sure did.
Trying to go up and in with a fastball and move him back. Looks like it's right around the shoulder. Just just clipped the arm, man. It barely got him.
So a one-out base runner now for Evan Longoria. Back out of play. Boy, Arch, we've seen this from a number of different teams this year. A very aggressive approach here early for Tampa.
I don't blame him. That's the way to go after him. You might as well go after it early. He's going to throw strikes. That one was a breaking ball, you know, but he'll change his pattern. If he knows you're going to be aggressive, you know, he may change his tempo up a little bit, throw different pitches.
Now the 0-1. Pretty good pitch just off the plate. Good take by Longoria. It's 1-1. Longoria took a wicked smash off of his left thumb and was out of the lineup yesterday, but right back in here today. And almost nicked him. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, he can see these guys are looking away, so he's trying to make that adjustment and go inside with hard stuff to keep them back, keep them honest. Even though they're not strikes to this point, it's still a good pitch for him early.
Swung on and missed, and it's 2-2. He's probably one of the best pitchers in the game when it comes to making in-game adjustments, because he will pick up on the hitters and what they're trying to do early.
Yes.
And he's not going to sit there and stubbornly try to execute maybe what they talked about prior to the game if he sees them doing something different.
Yeah, he's very wise out there.
The 2-2. And Longoria lines it to Santana, who slaps the tag on Duda for an inning-ending double play. Boy, a couple of defensive gems right out of the gate for the Tribe defensively, and we are scoreless after 1.
Back in 2017 with the MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected with live radio, broadcast, stats, breaking news, and more. Download the #1 app for live baseball. That's MLB.com at bat.
Second inning, and Edwin Encarnacion will lead off for the Tribe. First ball swinging, and a routine bouncer to short for Edeni Echeverria. 1 pitch, 1 out. Our player profile brought to you by Levin Furniture. Jay Bruce out of Beaumont, Texas. He's born on the same day as Jason Kipnis. How about that? They share a birthday together. Former first-round pick of the Reds, 3-time an All-Star, 4 times 30 homers or more, and he's sitting on 29 home runs for the season. And Francisco Lindor had high praise for Jay Bruce after only a couple of games. He said, quote, "The stuff he's doing on the field is great, but he's a better teammate. He's quiet, but he also supports everybody, and he wants to win. And that's all you want in a teammate." Pitch outside, ball 1. And for Jay, for his part, he says, you know, getting traded to New York was a different deal because it was, you know, you get traded in the middle of the season, first time in your career, you're going to a new city. And he said this trade was different because he said, I felt like I knew all of these guys even before I walked in the room because of sharing the spring training complex over there in Goodyear.
Yeah, and even though you're coming and changing leagues, it's, you know, that's different too in its own right.
2-0 pitch, right down the heart of the dish. Went in off the plate, 3-1. Austin Pruitt, his last 3 starts, he's faced Masahiro Tanaka of the Yankees, Dallas Keuchel of the Astros, Chris Sale of the Red Sox. He said, quote, "Welcome to the big leagues, I guess. I've gone against some tough guys. I feel like I've done all right, and I've got another tough matchup today."
Yeah, he's drawn the short straw a couple of times, but it doesn't matter when you have the opportunity between the minor leagues and the major leagues. It's no doubt.
Everybody's good. Everybody can go up there and shut a team down, shut a team out.
Well, you'll see if you belong early.
Yeah.
You got to keep your team in the game. And he beat Keuchel. He lost to Sale. It was only a 2-0 game. He gave up 1 run,
right?
You know, in his outing. So he's fared very well.
Carlos Santana will bat with Jay Bruce aboard on the walk. And that's outside for ball 1. Santana 0 for his last 12. Has drawn 3 walks in the series. You see the Rays with 3 men on the right side of the infield. Longoria on the left side, position halfway between second and third. And all of a sudden Pruitt, who's a strike throwing machine, has kind of lost his touch, maybe trying to nibble a little bit here, make that perfect pitch. He's missed on 6 of his last 7. Quite a contrast in approach here when you look at what Bruce did and now what Santana's doing against the Rays right-hander versus what Tampa hitters are trying to do against Kluber. 2-1. Taking it slow. Another 3-1 count.
Well, he had a pretty good 2-0 pitch that he took, but maybe just because he's never faced him before and he wants to check out the situation. Well, he's got a 3-1 count. See if he comes back with the same fastball.
He does, and Santana was waiting on it, but it's high in the air to left, not deep enough. Dickerson, shy of the track, makes the catch. And there are 2 down. Let's go down to Andre.
Guys, this is about the 3rd ball this weekend that we've seen hit pretty well. Edwin's had a couple. Carlos had one yesterday, and I talked to Tito about it last night. He feels like this field, or this park, whatever you want to call it, they play the fairest of all parks that they go to. He says, you got to hit the ball out of the park here. There's no cheapies when you come to the Trop.
Well, you're not going to get a wind-blown home run, that's for sure. And You know, it's 370 to the alleys, 404 to straightaway center.
Yeah, but is going the other way is where you have to drive it. You know, it's not going to carry. You've got to hit it very well.
Now here's Yan Gomes. Pruitt gets ahead with a fastball strike. Yan 1 for 6 in the series. And the Rays shift 3 on the left side of the infield. Yan in the hole 0-2. You see this a lot with certain hitters. They'll put the 3-man shift on the left side of the infield, but you'll note the center fielder Smith, he's playing Gomes to maybe drive it the other way in the outfield.
But he has the whole right side of the infield with the runner out at first base and the first baseman holding the runner.
Takes a call, 3rd strike. Second K for Austin Pruitt. And we're scoreless middle of the 2nd.
By Ram. It's Jackson, Zimmer, and Bruce in the outfield. Urshela, Lindor, Ramirez, Santana on the infield with Gomes catching.
And Logan Morrison will lead off the bottom of the 2nd for Tampa.
Hi, can you take a picture of us?
And a swing and a miss. He went up after a high fastball. In the air to center field, Bradley Zimmer makes the catch, 1 away. Our stat of the game today is brought to you by Buick. Indians starting pitchers in their last 10 games here in this building, 7-1 with a 133 earned run average. And they've taken a no-hitter through 5 innings in 4 of those 10 games.
Yeah, it's this is a special place for them when they come here, and that's probably why they have one of the best records when they come on the road into this building. Their pitchers dominate. And Kluber coming off back-to-back complete games. One against the Yankees, the other against Colorado, where he gave up 3 hits and just 1 run in both of them, almost identical lines. And he had to wait to the 9th inning to get his runs in his last start against Colorado. Remember, he went out in the 9th inning and had it a 1-0 game, and then their offense came in and they got him a win.
Well, the Tampa Bay Rays know that story all too well. They've been shut out not only in back-to-back games by the Indians, but 5 times on this homestand. It's the first time in club history they've been shut out 5 times in any 8-game span. And their 8 total runs in 8 games is the fewest ever in a stretch like that. And it also puts them in some dubious company historically. The 1982 Minnesota Twins were the last American League team to score 8 runs in any 8-game stretch. The 78 Oakland A's, that's 39 years ago, were the last team to be shut out 5 times in any 8-game span. And the 1955 Baltimore Orioles, that's 62 years ago, were the last team to be shut out 5 times in any one homestand.
That's rare. Rare air when something like this streak is going on, because yeah, just 8 runs on the homestand. They'll head out. They go to Toronto for 4 before they return after today's game.
Brad Miller steps in, 1 for 8 in the series with a double. Pops it back. Kevin Cash said, look, I don't have an explanation. We're in an offensive funk. Good pitching and our hitters not having their timing. Those 2 things happen at once and you're going to spiral offensively. I mean, I don't know. What should I do? Take all 9 hitters out of the lineup? You have to give some days off, but at the same time, this is the lineup we feel gives us the best chance.
You only have 25 guys and 13 or 12 of them are pitchers, so you can only make a couple of changes if you wanted to. You know, and in those 8 games that they played at home, it's not that they're getting blown out. They're starters. They're 0-6, but they have a 2.76 ERA. You know, and they pitched in 6 innings in 6 of those 8 games. So the pitching's been very good. It's just that they can't score right now. He even tried back-to-back squeezes in 1 game here.
1-2 the count. I suppose, Rick, it doesn't matter if you're in that dugout. If you're losing on a regular basis, it doesn't matter if you're getting shut out or you're getting blown out. The loss is still a loss.
Right.
But maybe because they pitch so well, at least they feel like, hey, all we need is a hit here or there and we'll be all right. As opposed to, you know, if you're getting clobbered every night, then you have multiple problems to try and solve, and then maybe that's a little more overwhelming.
Well, usually what stops losing streaks is a guy comes out and deals and throws up a shutout, or the team has a team party and everybody breaks out of it on one given day, then you score a boatload of runs. And I'm going to have to think that you're going to have to pitch a shutout here today with this guy on the mound, Kluber.
The 1-2. Miller pops it up, foul, out of play. And look, it's not like this is foreign territory for the Indians. We just went through a stretch where it looked like the Indians couldn't score and weren't going to score, and you wondered, man, what is going on?
Hey, they haven't been swinging the bats. Yesterday they were given 2 runs and they ended up scoring 3 total. So, you know, their offense hasn't been firing on all cylinders. It's just that their pitching has been that good.
Ground ball toward Ramirez. He'll go to second to get the lead runner. No chance to turn 2, but there are 2 down in the inning. Miller reaching on the fielder's choice.
Well, Miller's a good low ball hitter, but you're not going to hit that one. That was about 4 inches off the ground. And that's just not hit hard enough to turn 2 going that way. So they get the lead runner. Tito's going to go talk to him about the slide, I think, into Lindor. Because because I saw Frankie look at the second base umpire and say something. You see, Lindor's going to get it, and then Souza comes in. And does he try to grab him? If he can reach the bag, he's fine. Well, his feet are on a bag. I'm thinking the grab right there.
He grabbed Lindor's knee.
Is what I was looking at. So they're all going to talk now, and we'll see. I don't think that. I think that was harmless. He was able to reach first base.
I agree with you in the sense that I don't think he was going to be able to turn to anyway because of just the nature of the play.
Yes, he would have been able to turn to. It was just not hit hard enough.
Now, as far as the slide rule is concerned and the double play potential there, the umpiring crew, they get together, and the deal is they determine whether or not there's sufficient
and I think
reason to believe he could have turned a double play.
That's exactly what they just did.
Two down for Adeiny Echeverria. And Kluber gets ahead with a first pitch breaking ball for a strike.
Well, another way, let's see, you can steal against Kluber. I think they've stolen 14 off him this year. Miller's the one guy that was caught in last night's ball game. I'm sure it didn't fare well, but he tried to steal third.
One ball, one strike. Miller has stolen 4 out of 7 on the year. And a foul back, 1-2 the count.
Time to keep your eye on the base runner and the 1-2 count, especially if you think he's going to throw a slider. It was against Colorado where, what was it on that getaway day? I think every time they had a 1-2 count, Bud Black sent the runner and there was a slider throw.
Echeverria got the fastball and fouled it back. If you're thinking along those lines and you just saw him throw a 1-2 fastball, would you think now maybe the slider's coming, so send the runner here?
Well, yes. But, you know, I don't know if they want to make any outs on the bases. Well, you have to try and make something happen. It's early in the game and you're facing Kluber. You have 2 outs trying to steal a base hit will score you.
Swung out and missed. Echeverria no match for Corey Kluber, who gets his first strikeout here in the second inning. And we are scoreless through 2 in Tampa. by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. And the big news there is Bryce Harper, who goes on the DL for the Washington Nationals. If you saw the injury late last night, you probably thought, well, he might be done for the year. The good news is, for Washington Nationals fans, is that there was no structural damage when he hyperextended his knee, when he slipped on first base trying to beat out a play. But he does have a pretty severe knee, a bone bruise. And so, put it this way, it's at least 10 days.
It
might be a couple of weeks.
It looked like it could have been a lot worse.
Bradley Zimmer lifts a fly ball to center field. And Smith makes the catch for out number 1. Well, if you haven't seen it, here's a look at what happened to Bryce Harper. And I have to warn you, it's a little squeamish. If you're squeamish,
Well, what happened, he jumped on it was raining out there, and the top of the bag is where he landed when he went to go to first base, and the spikes just slid off the top of the bag, and he hyperextended that leg. So it certainly did not look good, but I think that's about as good as you could hope for in that situation.
Yeah, I would agree. Giovanni Urshela. A couple of hits in the series. Gio has reached via walk or hit in 14 of the last 15 games that he has started. And defensively, he has been amazing. Really fun to watch. The 0-2. There was a ball the other night, I think was it in the 9th inning? A rocket hit right at him, and it kicked away from him. It's one of the only times he hasn't made a play, and that was an impossible play. But he's so good, you expect him to make every single play.
Well, and he expects himself to make every single play as well.
Watch this one last night, down into the bullpen. And again, he may make that look easier than it really is, because we saw earlier in the game a similar pop-up off the bat of Jay Bruce in fair territory. It dropped in for a hit. Trevor Plouffe said he lost it in the ceiling, and the left fielder Dickerson was watching Plouffe.
Yeah, Dickerson probably got used to watching Longoria go out there and make that play, but if you got Longoria wasn't playing yesterday.
Top of the order, Francisco Lindor. First time through the order, 0 for 8 against Austin Pruitt. Only man to reach Jay Bruce via the walk. And a high fastball tempting, but no chase from Frankie.
Looks like he's not afraid to throw his fastball up when he gets to 2 strikes.
I've been impressed so far here, first time through the order anyway, Rick. For a guy who's not overpowering, Pruitt's not afraid to throw his fastball right down the heart of the plate.
Well, yeah, you get aggressive. They've never faced him before, so he has the upper hand. You know, that first time through. We'll see if they make adjustments the second time, but there you go. That's that spot that's really tough to hit. He's thrown at 91. And then you see he tries to follow it up and change the eye level with the curveball down. He's got a little slider slash cutter he can throw, and also the changeup.
There's the breaking ball. Got a routine bouncer to second base. Retires the side in order. Middle of the 3rd. No score in Tampa. Go down to Andre, who has a little clarification on the force out at second base where Lindor took the throw, and Souza Jr. made a little contact with him.
Yeah, basically, Terry Francona came down after the inning just to talk to his shortstop. He says basically because the umpires didn't see him throw the ball, they couldn't judge whether or not the play affected him turning the double play. Corey Kluber came up to him afterwards as well and said, hey, just throw it next time. Make sure you get it to the first baseman. That way we can say that you were interfered with and they could give you the double play. Just a conversation about what happened there so they could see that he was affected, I guess is the best way to put it.
All right. Well, that makes sense because when you don't throw it, then you even though he wouldn't have gotten them, next time just throw it. They might be able to say something about it. You get the double play overturned.
Malik Smith, who has been trying to bunt his way aboard several times in this series, and he swung the bat well. He's got 4 hits in the 3 games for Tampa. Only Logan Morrison has more hits for the Rays. And this was the Thursday. They tried to squeeze, and then with 2 strikes, they tried it again.
They came right back-to-back pitches, and that time, both times if they catch the ball, they have double plays. They couldn't catch it.
Bunts this one, stays fair. Gomes grabs it, throws him out. Boy, what a cat-quick reflex by Yan Gomes to jump on that ball and fired a strike down to first base.
That really was a heads-up play by Yan. He jumped on it. He wasn't going to let it roll foul. This kid thought he made a great bunt, and he did. But you know what? He's bunted so often that they're ready for him now. Sometimes it's the element of surprise, but you know, I give him credit. He's still trying to get on base. You just got to credit Gomes with making a very good play.
One down now for Jesus Sucre. Takes low and away, ball 1. Sucre was 1 for 3 in the series opener. He was hit by a pitch, and that turned out to be a key at bat in the Rays' win because it turned the lineup over, and the next man up, Dickerson, hit the home run that gave the Rays the win. Had their first hit with 1 out here in the 3rd inning.
Well, he just challenged him here. Let's go. Here's your fastball, and he was ready for it. He smoked it into left field. That is the first hit in the ball game.
One on, 1 out for Corey Dickerson. He had a hit taken away from him in the first on a terrific running catch in left field by Austin Jackson. Ground ball in the hole. Sucre goes to second, and the Rays have 2 on with 1 out.
Well, you notice how aggressive this lineup has been going through it. The first time they were 1 for 7, but they get up there. They're taking a lot of swings at the first pitch, and they're not going to spot him strike 1. So I want to see this time if Corey starts, you know, throwing that breaking ball, the change-ups now, more to the left-handed hitters early in the count.
Lucas Duda hit by a pitch in the first. Duda's not on top of home plate, but he does stand pretty close. In 11 at bats in the series, Duda has struck out 7 times. leftover red jersey. Now the 1-1. Bounced it foul. A number of the guys really were singing the praises of the red uniforms after the game last night. Some of the guys thought they were really cool, they were sweet. Not everybody was crazy about the red pants with the red jersey.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with him. I'm with him with the pants.
My man Mike Clevenger wants us to wear them every Sunday. He said, how can we get them so we can wear them every Sunday? Surprise, surprise, he's the one that loved them the most.
Well, yeah, you throw a shutout and deal for 7 innings. Tell him he can wear it every time he pitches.
I think he was one of the guys trying to keep his. Let's put it that way.
Here's the 1-2. And just missed. Borderline pitch, but it doesn't go Kluber's way, and it counts 2-2.
Well, here comes the changeup now, and that's off the plate. Gomes is going to sit. He's going to frame it. He's going to hold it, but it was about a ball width off.
And he ran the fastball up high and struck him out. Might have been a cutter.
Well, let's look at the sequence. He starts him off with a fastball in and misses inside. Then a slider he swings over the top of. Another breaking ball. He fouled off. There was the changeup away. Good pitch. Then he went up top. Looked like a cutter is right. Up and away.
Second strikeout for Corey. And with 2 down in the inning, Evan Longoria to the plate. Longoria tried to shoot one the other way his first time up and lined it into the glove of Carlos Santana, who turned it into an inning-ending double play. Ropes this one by Urshela at third. Around third base, coming home as Sucre throw is cut off, and the Rays take the lead. Sucre not fleet of foot, but he was able to get home, and the Rays will play from in front as they grab the early lead with 3 hits here in the third.
Well, again, there's a pitch that's middle of the plate, and Longoria takes advantage of it, smokes it into left field. They come in here. I'm figuring this ball had to be offline, and that's why Urshela cut it. But he doesn't make a throw back, because I'll tell you, when you're a third base coach and you got to wave this guy home, you better get a rope and help him run and get him in there. But he scored.
Sucre looks like he's in pain.
He is.
1-0 Rays as Logan Morrison steps in. Fly to center his first time up. Jay Bruce is there and makes the catch. A run on 3 hits for Tampa in the third, and they lead it 1-0. And Johnny Gorel stopping by to see the big league club today. He is in his 67th consecutive year working in professional baseball, 36th straight year with the Indians organization. He goes around, he looks at all the minor league players, stops by all the minor league teams and checks in on them. A wealth of information, and just a guy who absolutely loves the game. Yeah. Johnny started his professional career in 1951 as a player for the Boston Braves.
Yeah,
that's 3 years after the Indians beat them in the World Series, which was their last World Championship. And that was before the Boston Braves moved to Milwaukee and before Milwaukee moved to Atlanta, where they currently reside.
Yeah, he's been around a long time, spent a lot of time in the Minnesota organization, and you mentioned 36 years here in Cleveland.
Was he part of the big league staff when you played?
Yeah, he was a third base coach, absolutely, back in the 80s. Yes, he was. The mulligan, you call him.
The 1-1. Outside. Out of play, and the count is 2-2. And a smash into right field. Austin Jackson delivers the Indians' first hit of the game. Boy, I tell you what, Logan Morrison was in the perfect spot defensively, but Jackson just hit it so hard it was by him.
Watch him just those hands. He had quick hands on this one where he stepped up and he waited for it and then ends up slicing it the other way. Watch the hands. That little hesitation right there, and he just shot it by Morrison. He lets it get deep into the zone, and he is right there. It's hit by him. He couldn't move. So the first hit for the Tribe.
Now Jose Ramirez. Ramirez has hit in 4 straight. 3 for 13 now in the series. Couple of runs driven in. He scored a couple of runs. In the hole, 0-2.
That was a strike.
So Austin Pruitt has continued to just pepper the strike zone consistently here in the early going, and while that may have been a borderline call, I guess you throw enough strikes, you start to get a few going your way. Foul back.
He likes to follow that high fastball up with his curveball to change the eye level of the hitters from what I've seen so far.
He strikes out Ramirez again. 1 down in the 4th. 3rd strikeout of the day.
Comes back with a changeup, put it in a good spot. And 2 out of 3 of his strikeouts have come against Jose. He's a little frustrated.
2-to-1 strike to ball ratio for Pruitt to his first 42 tosses. Again, 3 to the left side of the infield for Tampa as Edwin Encarnacion looks Pitch strike. And now he has words with home plate umpire Mark Ripperger. Down in the dirt. Good stop by Sucre. Keeps Jackson down at first. Edwin in his last 16 games has drawn 11 walks. The other day, they pitched to him, and he hit a leadoff home run in the 5th inning to straightaway center field, and then that ignited a 5-run inning for the Indians. Missed again. 3 balls and a strike.
He's been pretty careful when he's gone through the middle part of the lineup, trying to navigate his way around. He knows he doesn't want to make mistakes to the big boys.
Jackson draws a throw. And Edwin pulls that foul. Full count. Indians have gone 14-7 in their last 21 games. And they begin the day 5 games up on Minnesota in the loss column in the Central Division. And a 3-2 pitch. Runner goes, hit in the air. Right center field. Malik Smith says he has it, and he does. 2 down. Jackson back to first.
Well, download MLB's free ballpark app to securely and conveniently manage your tickets and enter Progressive Field. Plus, unlock special offers from presenting partner KeyBank and more. You skip lines by gaining access to the mobile-only gates. Just go to Indians.com if you would like more information. I'll tell you what Pruitt's doing. He's keeping the ball out of the middle of the plate. He's keeping it on the edges.
I think he surprised Indians hitters maybe early, the first time through the order.
Right.
Where he was throwing a few balls right down the middle of the plate, but there's Jay Bruce. He whacks one deep right center field, off the wall. Jackson flying around third. Sorba gonna wave him home. Here's a throw to the plate, not in time. The Indians tie it. Jay Bruce delivers with a 2-out RBI double. 78th run driven in on the year for Bruce. And that ball just missed getting out of here. It looked like it hit right in the middle of the fence.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is one that's one he threw in the middle, and he took it to right center field. There's our cricket, something to smile about, and that's a 2-out run scoring double right there. Off the wall. He jumped him. That was one of the first pitches. He left middle of the plate, and he wasn't going to take it. So a good job by Bruce to get him in here with 2 outs. So they answer the run put on the board in the bottom half of the inning.
And Jay Bruce is now 5 for 10 since donning an Indians uniform. His 3rd RBI for the Indians. Carlos Santana now with a 2-out opportunity to give the Indians the lead. Carlos took a healthy cut, fouled it back. Once again, Tampa employing the shift. Off the end of the bat, left center field, that's in the gap, that'll go all the way to the wall. Bruce scores from second, Santana trades places with him, Indians take the lead 2-1. Carlos with his 28th double of the year, and he now has 60 runs batted in.
Well, Carlos comes right back and plugs the gap. He went that way the last time on a 3-1 pitch. This was a changeup that he stays on, and that was a pretty good pitch away, man. That was off the dish. And a better swing because they were playing him. I was looking at Malik Smith over in right center field, so there was no chance he was going to get there. So back-to-back 2-out RBI doubles gives the Indians a lead.
Santana saying thank you. That snaps an 0-for-13 slump for him. And the Indians now with 3 hits here in the 4th. Matching the 3 hits hit by the Rays in the 3rd, except their 3 hits were all singles. The Indians with back-to-back doubles. Drive in 2 runs. Now Yan Gomes. Oh, man. That nailed Sucre right in the mask and staggered him for a moment. So you want to be a catcher, huh?
Yeah, they just sit back there and they take it. Boy, that's quite a blow when you take it right off the mask on a direct hit like that.
Zimmer, you want me to hold your cell phone while you get up?
Oh, Gomes had one he likes. It was down. It was there. He turned it loose, but fouled it straight back, and he's kicking the dirt in a little frustration. The 0-2. Foul out of play. Carlos Santana in scoring position after giving Cleveland the lead here in the 4th. Up foul, and that will make it into the seats.
Yeah, Austin Pruitt has had an opportunity to get out of this inning, but a couple of big 2-out hits by Jay Bruce, and then Santana coming up. He has 22 pitches in the inning. But I like how they came back after Tampa put one on the board in the bottom half of the 3rd. They come right back and give Kluber the lead, just what he's looking for.
Austin Jackson started it. Smash into right field. And the back-to-back 2-out doubles. And again, Gomes fouls it off. You always hear that, you know, as a hitter, you might only get one good pitch to hit in an at-bat. And obviously, Yan felt that one that he got and fouled it back. So now the game plan has to be just keep fouling him off, and maybe he'll make a mistake and you'll get another one.
Yeah, that's true. He's working hard to try to get out of this inning, but Johns keeps fouling him off.
He popped him up. Third baseman Evan Longoria in the final round makes the catch. Indians come back. Back-to-back two-out RBI doubles from Jay Bruce and Carlos Santana give the Indians a 2-1 lead. For Minnesota suffering any hangover effect from that devastating loss last night, in which their bullpen just melted down late against the Tigers. They get a walk-off homer from Justin Upton.
Yeah, and they have Urban Santana on the mound for them today. Yeah, there's no time for hangovers in August in baseball. If you want to stay in the hunt, you've got to go out and recuperate. Let's go. Next day, be ready.
Helps to have Santana going when you desperately need a win,
sure
I guess.
Does.
1-1. Good pitch. Kluber gets ahead.
We'll see. They've been aggressive early on Kluber. Let's see if he changes his game plan a little bit now to have some easy innings.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out Souza Jr. Third K for Kluber. One down here in the fourth.
He's going to go breaking ball. They're not going to see the fastball. Cutter and a couple of sliders, and he goes down with the slider or the curveball, whatever you want to call it.
Rick, you know, Nick Cafardo, a longtime writer for the Boston Globe, stuck around here after the Red Sox series ended and wrote a piece that is in the Boston Globe today. Pretty in-depth stuff. It's about Corey Kluber, kind of analyzing the Cy Young race, Chris Sale and Corey Kluber. He had a quote from Andrew Miller wanted to share with our viewers. It was pretty good, given that Andrew Miller and the kind of status that he's achieved as a pitcher in this game. He said that since joining the Indians, Andrew Miller says of Kluber, quote, "He's one of the hardest working pitchers I've ever been around. The guys who were here in 2014 when he won the Cy Young tell me he's even better now."
Yeah. I would agree with that. He's nonstop.
Now the 1-1. Kluber then told Cafardo, you know, each year's a little bit different. I think I'm a smarter pitcher now from the experiences I've had. I think they're all unrelated and hard to compare. And I think that's very Corey Kluber-esque. And that is kind of the way he approaches it. You can't compare year to year as he gets his 4th strikeout. Miller caught looking. Or even start to start. Corey really focuses on staying in the moment, each pitch, as he goes about attacking the hitters.
He's in the moment now because he's got back-to-back strikeouts after they give him the lead. So that caught his attention.
Corey also said, nobody masters baseball. Unless you're throwing a complete game shutout every time you go out there, there's always room for improvement. Fly ball.
Good inning here for him.
Center field, Zimmer makes the catch. Shutdown inning for Corey Kluber on 9 pitches. The Indians lead it 2-1. Baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud. Tampa Bay. It's been hot. We've had storms every day blow in and out. Pretty typical this time of year.
Yes, it is. Summertime down in Florida. It's going to rain once a day, if not more.
Bradley Zimmer to lead off the 5th for Cleveland. Zimmer fly to center, his only time up.
Second time that Zimmer has led off in this game.
Right at the second baseman, Brad Miller. One away. T-Mobile Unlimited baseball break. Andrew Benintendi. Big night for the Red Sox. Their 10-5 win over the Yankees. A couple of homers. Since the Indians left Beantown, he's hit almost 500. The Red Sox have won 7 of 8. Now 8 of 9 in August.
Well, I think it's safe to say we'll see him in the lineup tomorrow night.
Giovanni Urshela grounded out his only time up. That's out of play off the bat to the right side.
Send along some birthday wishes to Dorothy Dizakowski, turning 90 from Medina. Arlene Karnick from Lorraine. Happy birthday to you both.
Missed inside on the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good fastball, good location.
Yes, exactly right. Hit the target. He sure did.
Going back out there with a breaking ball. Evens the count 2-2. See Pruitt kind of talking to himself. Didn't like the way he released that pitch. Never really had a chance. Urshela pulls it foul.
Smiley, you got this one, buddy?
Pruitt's done a nice job in this game. The only hiccup was last inning. After he had the leadoff man aboard, he was able to get the next two guys out. The Indians got a couple of clutch hits.
Popped him straight up.
Come on.
Right field, it will be Souza who makes the catch. And there are 2 down. Get inside the golf zone with Jimmy Hanlon, presented by Varmint Guard. He'll have highlights of this weekend's final major, the PGA Championship. Tips to improve your score. Golf Zone tees off tonight at 8 on Fox Sports Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Francisco Lindor 0 for 2 today steps in. Out of play. Ron Letarski, formerly of Cleveland, and his daughter Karen are here at the ball game today. They stopped by to say hello before today's game. Moved down here just 3 months ago, but they were all dressed in Indians gear, rooting for the Tribe today.
As a lot of people have been all series.
Frankie pulls it to first. Morrison will take it to the bag. The Indians go 1-2-3. We're halfway through. It's Cleveland 2, Tampa 1. Reminder, if you're enjoying a cold one, stay tuned. Later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And before we start the bottom of the 5th, we'll go downstairs to Andre Knight.
Well, Miller Time may be coming soon for Cleveland Indians fans, as Andrew Miller had another bullpen session today around 11 o'clock this morning, but he did it on the mound that you see Corey Kluber on right now. And one Jason Kipnis had to get in the box versus him to sit in there. If everything goes as planned and as they think that it did, could be activated in the next day or two. Mickey Callaway and Terry Francona will convene after the game to figure out if he needs a rehab, but it seems like everything went well. Also, Kipnis is available to pinch hit today, and he most likely will be in the lineup tomorrow. Tito just didn't want to play him on the turf. It was Tito's call, not Kip's. Everything is good with Kip so far with that hamstring.
All right, good to hear. Alex Smith thrown out by Yan Gomes, trying to bunt in the third inning.
And the bunt he laid down was really a pretty good bunt. Gomes came out of that crouch quick as a cat to pick it. It was up on the dirt right near the line when he threw him out.
Struck him out looking on a high fastball. And Alex Smith didn't like the call, but Mark Ripperger rings him up. And that's 5 Ks for Kluber.
Check it out on our Nissan pitch tracker. You know, you're going to go up there. He wants it down and in, and that's elevated. He's not a very big guy, and he didn't like the call. And he may have a beef, but it goes down as a strikeout, and that'll be Kluber's 5th.
Jesus Sucre delivered the Rays' first hit today, and then came around and scored their only run in the third. Paints the outside corner, 0-2. Rick, it's almost like ever since that third inning, Kluber figures something out, and he is just carving them up right now.
As soon as his offense came back and gave him the lead, it was like, see you later. Whatever it is, he's locked in his fastball. He's painting it. He's using it for strikes. You know, the last time that Sucre, he got the base hit, he grouped him one right down the middle, and rarely do you see Kluber do that with his fastball. So whatever it is, he's back on track.
Swung on and missed. Corey Kluber disposes of Sucre, and that's a half a dozen Ks for the Indians right-hander.
Yeah. You know, he came out of this game earlier today, and he wasn't able to command it like he normally does, but he hasn't quit. And the 2 runs they gave him, he's starting to lock it down. He's had 2 strikeouts in the last 2 innings. So he's back to being Corey Kluber.
Pulls it foul, does Corey Dickerson.
There you go. Little wood there. There you go.
In off the plate. One down and in.
Yeah, he bounced it. Well, look at Kluber's tough ending of the second. He had 18 pitches. Came back after they got him the runs, had the 9-pitch inning. He has a chance to get out of this one with an 11-pitch inning if he throws a strike and gets it out here.
He got a piece of it, and he went down and tried to dig it out.
He bounced one before here, and he's going to do it again now. Dickerson is a good low ball hitter, but he's not going to hit that one. He's going to have to get a shovel.
Swung on and missed. He went upstairs with the heat, strikes out the side here in the 5th. Kluber now with 7 strikeouts on the day. And the Indians lead it 2-1.
Just $15 for kids 12 and under, and you have to purchase an adult ticket. The tickets are located in the family deck out of Progressive Field, and it's home to the expanded kids clubhouse. You have to go to Indians.com/kids tickets. They're only available on that.
Austin Jackson to lead off the 6th inning for the Tribe. He singled and scored in the 4th inning. And that was a nice piece of hitting. He shot a ball just past Logan Morrison, who's, it looks like he's in the exact same spot he was the last time. But,
yes.
I mean, Austin just hit it so hard that by the time Morrison reached for it, it was already in the right field.
I'll tell you, Austin Pruitt's held his own. He's done a nice job having to go up against Kluber in this Indians offense, and has held them in check. They have 3 hits, all in the same inning, the 4th.
Bounced well in front of the plate, 1-2. Austin Jackson laying off a couple of breaking balls, one on the dirt, one away, and back to even in the count now, 2-2. Sucre wants an elevated fastball. That's been his bread and butter today.
Good take.
Just a bit high, not by much.
See, it looked like a strike, and if you're not going to get it, that's a heck of a take, and that's where he's had a bunch of outs today.
It did look like a strike, but did you notice how Sucre didn't even really try to frame it? He just caught it and threw it right back to him. Popped him up. Shallow left field.
He's had a lot of those pop-ups today.
Sure has.
You know, where they just get underneath it because he throws the high fastball.
In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 3 hits in the 3rd helped Tampa plate the first run of this game, but the Indians came back in the top of the 4th. 2-out RBI double by Jay Bruce tied it. Santana followed with an RBI double to give the Indians the lead. It's funny, both teams have 3 hits. and all of their hits came in one inning.
Yeah. So he's had no luck today.
Hard, but right at Morrison. He'll take himself 2 away. And that's going to bring up Edwin Encarnacion 0 for 2.
Designated hitter, Edwin Encarnacion.
Just off the plate. That looked like the exact same pitch, but that time he called it a strike. And it's 1-1. Breaking ball was straight down out of the zone. Oh, Edwin smashes this one into the lower deck and left. And it's 3-1 Cleveland. 24th home run of the year for Encarnacion. That had that unmistakable home run sound right off the bat.
Yeah, that's the 6th home run allowed by Pruitt, and Eddie did not miss this one. Again, they strike with 2 outs. So all of their runs have scored with 2 outs. A fastball that was up and out. You know, it was about the same location that he hit that ball to center field earlier in this series. And look at it from high atop the Trop. Nice swing. Put the bat down and take a little cruise.
Jay Bruce takes a pitch inside, ball 1. Good changeup down and away, good movement, swung over the top, 1-1. Jay Bruce in his last 30 games, including today now, has 9 homers and 23 runs batted in. In the air, out of play, down the left side. And that included a rather lengthy slump in which he endured an 0 for 18.
Wow. Well, he's swung very nicely since being here.
Up and in, he missed 2-2. Popped up, foul, out of play. Edwin Encarnacion. .24 home runs on the year. Low and away, and a full count. Second baseman Miller. Side is retired, but Edwin drives one to the bleachers and left, and it's a 3-1 Cleveland lead.
Savings and access to Tribe Rewards. Today's Tribe Rewards code is Santana. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
Carlos Santana, an RBI double this afternoon. He'll be leading off when the Tribe comes to bat in the 7th. Corey Kluber goes to work here, bottom of the 6th. Has struck out 7 Tampa hitters. Lucas Duda struck out his last time up back in the 3rd. Hard hit ball, but look where Ramirez is playing. And he throws him out. Well, Indians Red Sox tomorrow night at Fenway Park. This is the makeup from the series finale a couple of weeks ago that washed out at Fenway. Trevor Bauer, Doug Fister is the matchup. It's a 6 o'clock start on Sports Time Ohio. It will also stream on Fox Sports Go. One game tomorrow night in Boston, and then on to Minnesota. 3 games against the Twins. Evan Longoria drove in the Rays' only run with an RBI single in the 3rd. And Kluber's pitch is outside, ball 1. When we were back in Cleveland, you may recall I asked Terry Francona what he thought has enabled Corey Kluber to just stay on this kind of extended run of excellence that we have seen. And he talked about his between work ethic, between starts, and his routines. And he used the word impeccable. His routines are impeccable every time he goes out there to do anything between a start. It's not just going through the paces. He does it with a purpose. And he told me this the other day. I was one of those things that kind of didn't really think much of it at the time, but now that he's back out here today, Wednesday, remember we had the day game, noon start in Cleveland. It was one of those just kind of show and go days for the players.
Right.
Corey Kluber was the first guy there, getting his work in on that day.
Well, it was his day to get it done.
It just tells you. I mean, there is no taking the day off for him. And Tito even said, he goes, you know, it's one of those. It's an easy day to just relax and just kind of take the day off. But he said, I knew he'd be in there getting after it, and he was.
Yeah. Well, that's, if you want to be the best, that's what it takes.
Now the 3-2. Oh, Longo, good at bat. He laid off a tough pitch there, and he ends up drawing a one-out walk.
Nice pitch, maybe a little low, it was, but I'll tell you, like you say, it's a tough pitch to take. A lot of guys getting the swing mode off Kluber, and that was a good pitch, but a better take by Longoria. Second walk of the day for Kluber.
And now he's got Logan Morrison, who's tried to elevate the ball both times up and has flied out once to center, once to right. Down to Andre.
You know, as you talk about the work ethic of Corey Kluber, I had a conversation with him when we were back in Kansas City months ago. And I asked him where this comes from. And he said, it's my job. He goes, I only get one opportunity to do this. I don't want to look back at my career 20 years from now and say, what if? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I push myself? He said, that's what I'm here to do. He learned it from his parents, and he's not going to do it any different because he wants no regrets when he walks away.
Yeah, that's a good outlook.
I think that also, Andre, tells you a lot about a guy who spent, you know, most of 6 years in the minors waiting for this opportunity. And when you've had to work that hard to just get your first chance, you're not going to let it just slip away. The 0-1 is downside. And then, as Andre's told us before, even on the nights when he's not pitching, when he's in the dugout with his teammates,
right,
he's not sitting there chewing bubble gum and flicking seeds.
No.
I mean, he's watching and just seeing what he can pick up.
Well, I've asked him how frustrating is it when other guys aren't that way, and he looked at me with a smile and he says, it's the toughest part about my job. He goes, but I'm not here to tell other guys what to do. And I think you're right. The minor league part of it is a big part of this. That he went through it, and Tito even says it. He goes, he was, you know, a 500 pitcher, and he goes, he worked hard, but we didn't know that he was going to become this. But he hasn't stopped, and he's not going to until he's done.
Working carefully of Morrison. He's tied for 6th in the American League with 28 home runs. And he came into today 5 for 11 in the series. Oh, that's a perfect pitch. Bottom of the strike zone. And when you're Kluber and you're behind in the count there, he knows if he can just get this over, he's probably not going to swing at it.
Well, that's what goes to show you. As a hitter, you're thinking, man, I had myself a pretty good hitter's count. He's probably sitting break heater in that count. And he drops that, and that's what you have to do if you want to get yourself back in a count sometimes against the good hitters.
2-2. Came back with it, struck him out. This one a little harder, a little more bite to it.
And it's his 8th strikeout, so that's the number, that's the average for him.
That's 14 in a row.
Yes, it is.
Randy Johnson did it 3 times. Pedro Martinez, and now Corey Kluber. Souza Jr. walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Corey's first strikeout today didn't come until the 7th batter, but he has started to pile them up here in the last couple innings. Out of play down the right side. Corey has struck out 6 of the last 9 Tampa hitters. And the 0-2, a little low. Souza Jr. steps out.
Well, they can't get on the same page because he's gone through all the signs twice.
That's weird when you think about how long these two guys have worked together.
Well, yeah, he started out, and after I saw that first sequence he ended up with it, he thought fastball in or out, a two-seamer, and then when he sort of didn't do anything, he went slider for his pitch and he didn't shake. I don't think he throws his changeup to right-handed hitters.
Might have something to do with location, maybe, where he wants to go.
Well,
with the pitch.
you locate it, then it would have to be a fastball. Fastball in or out is usually what you do. You give a breaking ball, you don't give location.
Up and away with the fastball, 2-2. Nice block by Yan. And now a full count. Trying to do a little repair to where his landing spot is.
I noticed him every inning coming out doing that, and I'm just wondering if their pitcher doesn't land very similar in the same spot and he builds something up out there where he's got to clean it up when he goes out.
Runner goes, 3-2 pitch, hit well. Deep left center. Jackson looking up, and it is gone. Steven Souza Jr. with his first hit in the series, snapping an 0-for-12 slump. Hits his 25th home run of the year to tie the game. All 25 home runs he has hit this year have come against right-handed pitchers.
Yeah, and he was down in the count 0-2, and Corey just a bad cutter that stayed middle of the plate, and that's exactly what Souza did. He crushed it. What he was supposed to do with the guy on, and that ties the ball game up. So he hit a mistake. He hit it out of the ballpark.
Miller fouls it off.
That's what you do when you're playing against guys like this, and you stay within shouting distance. You know, with these guys, you make one mistake and they could tie it up. And he did. It was a good walk by Longoria. He laid off a 3-2 slider to get on base.
Well, and when you think about the Longoria walk, Kluber at that point looked like he was about ready to take over and dominate the rest of the way. He had retired 8 straight. And then Longoria drew the walk. Came back and struck out Morrison. Had Souza down 0-2, but the 2-run homer breathes a lot of life back into this Tampa club.
That was a little high. A little outside. A little high and outside.
They had scored a total of 8 runs in their previous 8 games. And 4 of those 8, remember, came in the first game of the series against the Tribe.
Yes, they did. 3 coming in that 8th inning.
Did he go? No, he didn't. It's 2-2.
There's that slider down. Couldn't really tell from that angle.
He caught it, and the inning is over. The Rays think the ball hit the ground, but the inning is over, says Phil Cuzzy. Brought to you by the Injury Lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By the stylish 2017 Kia Optima. And by Smart Path Forward. Lakeland Community College is your Smart Path Forward. Enroll now. Back here in St. Pete, the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. Rays right-hander Steve Cishek coming on after Austin Pruitt went 6 innings and allowed 3 runs on 4 hits. It's a no decision for Pruitt after the Rays rally to tie the game. Cishek has made 9 straight scoreless appearances.
Now Hunter getting up behind him out there. The Indians answered in the 4th inning after the Rays scored. And then with that add-on run, a home run by Encarnacion last inning, the Rays come right back and they answered to tie it up.
Base hit center field for Carlos Santana. His second hit today, and the Indians get their leadoff man aboard here in the 7th.
Didn't hit it all that well. It looked like it got inside on him a little bit, but he was able to fight it off and bloop it in and get himself a base hit. Those right there are a thing of beauty.
Yeah, you think about how many times you barrel up a ball and hit it just pure, and it's right at somebody. You know, they catch it.
Well, the funny thing is the catcher, Sucre, was sitting away. They wanted the fastball away, and it actually sort of ran to the inside part of the plate, and he got the base hit.
He gets jammed there, gets a hit. Last time I remember it was a ball down and away. He hit off the end of the bat, and he ended up with a double in the gap. Runner goes on a hit and run, and
beautiful
a slow chopper to short. He'll get Gomes at first. Santana the go-ahead run into scoring position.
Yeah, start your runner, put the ball in play.
Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Bradley Zimmer's first hit in the big leagues came on May 17th with his family in the stands watching. Came against these Tampa Bay Rays. He clobbered his first home run. Quite a welcome to the big leagues moment.
Yeah, never forget that.
Bradley hitless in the series, does have an RBI. Swings over a breaking ball. Strike one. Rick, do you see anything in Zimmer here the last week or so, adjustments maybe pitchers have made against him, or anything he needs to do to combat what they're trying to do to him?
Well, he may have to change a little bit because he is striking out at a strong ratio. 73 strikeouts and 232 at bats. On the other hand, you look up, and second on the team is Santana, who has 76 and 415 at bats. So, you know, here's a guy that he's just not getting to some pitches. They're jamming him, they're crowding him, and then with the slow off-speed pitches, he's swinging through a lot of pitches.
Good take there, 2-2.
But as Tito said a couple days ago, he thinks this is just part of the, maturing for Bradley Zimmer. People have seen him and they're pitching him a little bit differently.
Well, they're going to. There's no doubt about it, but it sometimes it looks like he's tied up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
When he hits out of that crouch.
And I think that was a concern earlier in the year, back in spring training, if you remember when they changed him around a little bit.
Right. I want to see him free his hands up a little bit.
Sucre is going to go out and talk with Cishek. Up and in, full count. I noticed something about Sucre the other day. When he gives the signs, even when there's a runner on base, he doesn't hide his hand that much. It's almost like it's sitting on top of his leg as opposed to.
When he's giving the sign?
Yeah, he doesn't really
get down in there and hide it?
Yeah, it's kind of high.
Not good.
You would think, right? 3-2. Smashed foul. But most catchers, they've got that hand down there, so they don't want anybody to see.
Yeah, you can't see it. They don't want the third or first base coach to see it. And certainly anybody from the side if it's, he's giving it that high up.
Now the 3-2. Way outside, ball 4. Good at bat for Zimmer. Now the Indians have 2 on with 1 out. And Giovanni Urshela is going to be called back for a pinch hitter. And here comes Jason Kipnis.
And out comes Cash. He's already made a pitching change, so he's going with power, bringing in Hunter.
So we've got a timeout with 2 on and 1 down here in the 7th in a 3-3 ball game. They have 2 aboard with 1 out. And Jason Kipnis, who's been out of the lineup with a hamstring injury, but coming out to pinch hit here. And Kevin Cash counters by going to Tommy Hunter, who can rush it up there in the upper 90s.
Well, Hunter was the winning pitcher in game 1 of this series. He retired all 5 batters that he faced. They went in and they had the big 3-run home run, and he was the beneficiary, but he's on now with 1 out. A couple of inherited runners here. Cishek gave up a base hit, got a ground ball out. They started the runner, got Santana to second. Zimmer walked, and Kipnis now is pinch hitting.
Jason started the series opener, doubled in the 4th inning, but then had to come out of the ball game when that hamstring tightened up on him. Fastball in off the plate.
He has that cut fastball that he likes to throw at about 94, and then he can get it up to 97. He's done a nice job for the Rays. Cutter
swung over the top. It's 1-2.
Watch this pitch. It keeps bearing in. That's not even close to being a strike, but it may look like that.
Glove of Sucre couldn't hold on to the foul tip, and it stays 1-2.
Well, this is a 4-seamer, and he elevated it, belled high, and just did get a piece, but it did not stick into the glove of Sucre. He's upset, but not much you can do. So Kipnis stays alive.
Broke his bat, and it's foul. Francisco Lindor waiting on deck. Got to give him the chase the high fastball, and it's 2-2. Santana the go-ahead run at second. Zimmer trailer at first. Kipnis pops it up. Second base Brad Miller, infield fly rule, 2 down. And so Lindor will have an opportunity now with 2 down. He's 0 for 3 today. In off the plate, ball 1.
Yeah, that's the pitch as a left-hander. You have to lay off that cutter if you can. Keeps bearing in on you, and really it ends up a ball. You can't hit it.
There it was again, 2-0. Unlike Kipnis, now Lindor can be a little more selective. Smashes it into right field. Santana coming around third. They're going to wave him home. Souza up with it. Throw to the plate. Oh, he is way out. Souza Jr. with a terrific throw to the plate, right on the fly, and Santana tagged out.
Come check out and see Indians fans throughout the Trop is coming here to the Ted Williams Hitters Hall of Fame, where you can see Wade Boggs' 3,000th hit. You can see some cool Indians fans, but you can continue along and you see some of the coolest stuff ever. Whether you're a Roberto Clemente fan, where you can see some of his plaques, where he had his 3,000th hit. You can continue along and see Ohio's own Michael Jack Schmidt. We've all heard the home run call and the former Phillies stuff all right here. You continue along. And yesterday, the Frank Robertson Indians jerseys were worn, and you have a nice thing for Frank Robertson here when he was with the Orioles as well as with the Reds. And as you move along and go down here, you have Craig Biggio, who just went into the Hall of Fame. And to finish things off today for us as we continue along here in the Ted Williams Hitters Hall of Fame, the Alomar family, one of the best families in baseball history right here. We all know Sandy, who's coaching first base for the Indians, but his brother and his father as well. We all know Robbie has made it into the Hall of Fame and played for the Indians. So if you ever get a chance to come down to St. Pete, make sure you make your way up to the 3rd floor and you check out the Ted Williams Hitters Hall of Fame here in St. Pete, Florida.
All right, thank you, Andre. Nice little behind-the-scenes look.
Yeah, really nice place in there. It certainly is.
Well, Jason Kipnis now in the ball game defensively at second base. Jose Ramirez goes from second over to third. Francisco Lindor delivering a solid hit into right field. But unfortunately, Steven Souza Jr., who hit the homer that tied the game, keeps the Indians from regaining the lead with a great throw to the dish to erase Carlos Santana.
Well, the ball was hit hard, and he charged it. He wasn't that deep. Even though there were 2 outs, you have to send him that situation, and he made a good throw.
Adeiny Echeverria will step to the plate. Bottom third of the order for Tampa here in the 7th. Tigers have come back, not up the Twins at 4 apiece in the 6th inning in Motown. Royals beating the White Sox 8-0 in the 3rd. Echeverria lifts the ball right field over deep. Bruce running out of real estate, makes a great catch just before he nearly tumbled over that little sidewall.
Yeah, he got over there in a hurry, and that's the key. Where he could sort of finagle his way over there. He took a peek at the wall. He knows he's getting close. He'll put the hand out, but he gets the glove, makes the catch, holds on. Good play. It was a foul ball.
And with 1 out, Alex Smith coming up 0 for 2. Bunts it foul back to the screen. Have to admire this young man's persistence.
Well, that's his game. And, if he's good at it, it brings the guys in at the corners. And even if he doesn't bunt, what it does, he's able to maybe slap a ball by him because they're in so much closer. It just applies a little more pressure to the defense.
And Kluber with an off-speed pitch has him in the hole now 0-2. Back with it. It's going to slice foul, and Austin Jackson gives it a look, but that's just beyond his domain. Chopper to first. Santana will take it and beat him to the bag. 2 down. Steven Souza Jr. with 2 out in the 6th and a man on. Delivered with his 25th home run of the year. New career high for him. And then when the Indians were threatening to take the lead, uncorked a perfect throw to the plate. And Santana tagged out to end the inning. Jesus Sucre, the Tampa catcher, singled and scored back in the third. Off the end of the bat, Jay Bruce races in and makes the catch. They go 1, 2, 3 here in the bottom of the 7th, and we stay knotted at 3 apiece.
Is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
3-3 our scores. We go to the 8th inning. For the Indians, it'll be Austin Jackson, Jose Ramirez, and Edwin Encarnacion. Tommy Hunter staying on to start the inning, but the Rays have action in the bullpen. Jackson 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored, and takes a fastball for strike. And now he's down 0-2.
Well, that cutter has been a nice addition to Tommy Hunter's arsenal right there. He's got a good one too. 93, 94 miles an hour, and that thing runs into the lefties, away from the righties.
There was a breaking ball. Austin Jackson fights it off. Kluber's right at 100 pitches, so his day is probably over. Especially given that he'd be going through the lineup for the 4th time in the 8th inning. Up and out of the strike zone, 1 and 2. Fouled out of play. Stays 1 and 2. Kluber hoping to see the offense bail him out. Tommy Hunter delivers. And again, Ajax able to lay off a tough pitch, 2-2. I mentioned to you the other day, he's had 2 10 or more pitch at bats since the All-Star break. So he has the ability to make a guy work foul pitches off.
Yeah, he's a tough out. He's a tough out, boy. He makes you work to get him out if he doesn't get on base.
Well, here we go. He's at 9 pitches in this at bat already. Coming up right here. 8 so far. The count is full. And he hits one deep to left. Back is Dickerson. He's out of room. It's out of here. Austin Jackson puts the Indians in front 4-3 with his 4th home run of the year. And he is just continuing a really hot stretch of baseball. He's 2 for 4 today. And he came in batting .341 in his last 23 games.
I'll tell you what, if you watch it, what an at-bat. He pulled the hands in. Watch him pull the hands in and still didn't lose any power. That was quick, barrel to the baseball. Watch the hands come in. The swing doesn't slow down. That's a beautiful swing, man. He tried to lock him up on a fastball in. He just brought the hands in after about a 9 or 10 pitch at bat. Look at, they're talking about it right now.
Of his 4 home runs, 3 have given the Indians the lead this year. I always like to see those, the clutch homers.
Yes, you're not kidding. But you know, he was just protecting there. His job was to get on base. He wasn't trying to hit a home run, but I'm just amazed how those hands came in
quick
and how short that barrel was to the baseball. And still supplied enough power for him to get it out of the ballpark.
And now Ramirez floats one down the right field line. That'll drop and it will roll. Caught off by Souza. His throw to second offline, and Ramirez head first in there with a double. So Tommy Hunter escaped the 7th inning thanks to a great throw in right field from Souza. But here in the 8th, a homer and now a double.
Well, you know, as soon as that ball goes up in the air, it's going to be Ramirez on second base because he comes out of the batter's box unlike anybody. So he will hit his 37th double. And the Indians in business looking for an insurance run. He ties Jed Lowry with Oakland for 37 doubles now on the year, leading the American League.
Listen to the Indians fans chanting Eddie. And a pitch down low. Edwin hit a line drive homer to left his last time up. Good pitch. That was a fastball over the outside corner. This is the homer back in the 6th.
And that was a fastball on the outside part of the plate that he just said, see you later. So it's been the long ball for the Indians, the last 2 runs that they've scored. A couple of solo shots.
Nice little breaking ball from Tommy Hunter. Front door over the inside corner. Got him to chase, but he holds up. Pitch 2-2. Got him. 96, and it was away. This might not have even been on the plate, but it was a great pitch.
Yeah, it sure was. That was awfully close. Cash going to make the pitching change to bring the left-hander in to face Bruce.
Dan Jennings will be coming on for Tampa when we come back. Indians now leading at 4-3.
Watch Austin Jackson in his last at bat. He's going to fall behind in the count. 0-2. There's a fastball, and then there's that cutter. So he's 0-2, and then he fouls off 3. Goes to 1-2 there. Fouled off another one. There's 3 foul balls. Now takes one high, takes another high. The 3-2 pitch. He tried to run the heater by him inside, and that's when he pulled the hands in. Got the barrel of the bat to the baseball and hit one out. Really good at bat. And he wasn't trying to hit a home run there, folks. He was just trying to get on base and put it in play. It just happened to go out of the ballpark.
And he's put the team and Corey Kluber now in line for a win.
This could be the second straight start, although there are 6 outs left against Tampa. So that's why you'd love to get this insurance run in that's out there at second.
With 1 out, Jay Bruce to the plate. 3 on the right side of the infield. Strike outside corner. Came right back to it. And Jay now down on the count, 0-2. One that Sucre is able to block. See the whole left side of that infield is vacant. Longoria's got to stay closer to third with Ramirez on at second base. Slaps one the other way, but foul. Stays 1-2. Indians now with 8 hits on the afternoon. Homer by Jackson the 7th, a double by Ramirez the 8th. struck him out with a breaking ball. Back-to-back Ks, and there are 2 down in the inning.
He's going to walk Santana on 4, and then he's going to go to the bullpen. So there's the intentional walk.
All right, timeout. Brad Boxberger's up next.
Only regular season series of the year against the defending AL East champ Red Sox. That'll take place when we get home off of this road trip in about a week. You can grab a $13 district ticket or a $15 KeyBank kids ticket. Just go to Indians.com for the information.
Brad Boxberger, right-hander, coming on now for the Rays. Third pitcher of the inning.
Yeah, Boxberger pitched in Friday's game. He had a perfect ninth, 10 pitches, 8 strikes. So young Gomes will have a chance to add to the lead now, although there are 2 out. First and second. Kluber's sitting on looking intently. Shaw's still warming, so you would think that Corey's out of this ball game if he's continuing to throw.
Yeah. First pitch strike. Boxberger has retired 12 in a row working out of the Tampa pen. Runners go. And Gomes fouls it straight back.
Well, it's just that Ramirez had a jump on him and they know he was slow. So he just took off and didn't really pay attention to him, but Gomes liked the pitch and he swung at him. So he'll have to retreat.
Struck him out. Indians regain the lead on the Austin Jackson home run to deep left field here in the 8th. 4-3 Cleveland. brought to you by Mazda. Indians hitters had struck out the fewest number of times in the American League today, and they have punched out 6 times, 3 coming in the 8th inning. Rays hitters have struck out the most in the league, and Corey Kluber fanned 9 in his 7 innings of work, but that ends his double-digit strikeout streak at 5 starts. Brian Shaw coming on to face the top of the order for Tampa here in the 8th. Corey Dickerson, Lucas Duda, Evan Longoria. Dickerson 1 for 3 on the afternoon. He came into this game just 2 for his last 30 and 2 for his last 43 here at home. But he swung the bat well. First time up, Austin Jackson robbed him of extra bases. There's a comebacker right to the mound, and Shaw with the underhand flip, 1 away. And now Lucas Duda. 0 for 2. He was hit by a Corey Kluber pitch. Just kind of grazed his right elbow as he was trying to turn out of the way. Back in the first inning, struck out, grounded out since then. Up and away with a fastball. Chops it foul, first base side. And a count 1-1.
The cutters, that's Shaw's pitch too, that cutter. It's a great pitch when it has the run to it. Sometimes it can flatten out. That last one got inside of Duda's hands.
Two and 1. Again, I mean, it's just, even at 95, like Tommy Hunter, you can throw it at that velocity, but it still has that movement.
Yeah, well, and you start your swing to where you see that ball, and by the time you start to react to it, that ball's still moving. You're thinking it is a fastball, but it just has some cut to it late.
The 2-2 swung on and missed, and that was a vicious cutter down and in. 10th strikeout today for Indians pitching, and there are 2 down in the 8th inning.
Watch it go down and in. It's out of the zone, and that thing just kept going. That was his breaking ball. That was his breaking ball. He took something off and slowed it down, and that's why it had the big break to it.
It's funny. I remember I used to hear people say if you throw too many cutters, a guy could lose his four-seam fastball. But, with guys like Brian Shaw, as hard as they throw, I mean, how much velocity can you really be giving up? Ground ball to short, Lindor. Perfect throw to nail Longoria. And a perfect inning for Brian Shaw. We'll go to the 9th. Indians lead it 4-3. Go to the 9th. Bradley Zimmer, Jason Kipnis, Francisco Lindor. Brad Boxberger struck out Yan Gomes to end the 8th. He'll stay on here in the 9th. Zimmer pulled the bat back and took a strike. Cody Allen begins to loosen in the Cleveland bullpen. A little low. And it's 1-1. Lived off the end of the bat. Took a fastball right down the heart of the dish. One down here in the 9th. Second strikeout for Boxberger. Don't forget, tomorrow we're in Fenway for a one-night stand. Indians Red Sox, 6 o'clock, first pitch right here on Sports Time Ohio. And it's off to Minnesota for 3 against the Twins before the road trip concludes in Kansas City with 3 against the Royals. Jason Kipnis 0 for 1 on the day. Came on as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. Speaking of the Twins and the Royals, Minnesota, Detroit still tied 4-4 going to the 8th. Royals beating up the White Sox 8-0 there in the bottom of the 5th in Chicago. Ball and 2 strikes to count on Kipnis. Speaking of the Royals and the Twins, they're both very much in the thick of the wild card race. When the day began, the Yankees and the Angels occupied the top 2 spots. Angels have won 5 in a row. But then, call a third strike, brings up Kipnis. That's 3 straight. And by Boxberger.
There's a low dart right there, outside knees.
So the Yankees and Angels occupy the top 2 spots, and then all the way down to Baltimore. That's 7 teams in all that are within a game and a half of each other.
Yes.
Or a game and a half of that. 6 teams or a game and a half of that second spot. Put it that way.
Who's going to get hot? That's what you gotta try and figure out.
And you wonder too, how many games head-to-head some of those teams had. Obviously, Minnesota and Kansas City will go head-to-head. Tampa and Baltimore will go head-to-head. Seattle and the Angels have some head-to-head.
They're playing right now, aren't they? Seattle and the Mariners, or I mean, and the Angels.
Yes. I think they're probably coming up here in a little bit. 0-2 count on Lindor. Low and away. The 1-2 is swung on and missed. Brad Boxberger's faced 4. He has struck them all out. But the Indians lead it by a run, and it's up to that man to try and finish it off. of the game.
Well, there it is, a fastball in on the inside part of the plate that Jackson just puts a beautiful swing on and gets it out of here. That led off the 8th inning and it gave him the lead, and right now Cody Allen coming on to try and hold it.
Cody Allen worked a 1-2-3 9th inning last night, nailing down his 20th save of the season. He's got 4, 5, and 6 due up. Logan Morrison, Steven Souza Jr., and Brad Miller. Morrison 28 homers on the year. Souza now 25, and Brad Miller has hit 5 home runs this year. So a couple of big bombers here to start the inning. In off the plate, ball 1. Morrison 0 for 3 today, but 5 for 14 in the series, and came in batting .302 in the month of August. So he's been swinging the bat well, not just for the fences. Chase is 1 in the dirt on a 1. That's amazing. Logan Morrison, after the previous pitch, stepped out of the box with a look of disgust on his face, and you can see the wheels spinning, saying, no, don't swing at that pitch. So Cody throws it again, and he swings at it again.
Yeah. Now he's not going to talk to himself. He's just going to forget about it.
I'm not talking to you.
That's right. You get out of here.
Him up. Ramirez to shift on, makes the play. 1 down. Well, this was Steven Souza Jr. back in the 6th inning.
Yeah, he's the reason why the Rays are back in it. He tied it up there, and he kept it tied with a throw from right field as well. He jumped on a cutter from Kluber that stayed up a little bit, and it was sort of flat. He hit it out of the ballpark to tie this game up. Well, he's coming back up again.
Say what you want about Tampa's recent offensive funk, which was historically the worst they've ever seen. 8 runs in 8 games. Shut out 5 times. But today we have seen this ball club in a nutshell. They're 5th in the American League in home runs. They get a 2-run homer to tie it. They far and away lead the league in strikeouts. They punched out 10 times.
Yeah, they only have 4 hits. 3 hits came in the 3rd inning when they scored their 1 run. And Souza's homer was the only other hit that they have.
And Cody Allen gets ahead of him with a fastball 1 and 2.
He's looking like that ball was inside. That was right there.
Pitch. Wow, fastball and just a tad outside.
Well, you want to talk about a teaser. There it is. Looking to get the chase swing. He did not do it, though.
Smashed foul. payoff pitch. He draws a walk. And now the tying run is aboard. Up comes Brad Miller, 0 for 3, has struck out twice on the day. The Rays have struck out 1,157 times. That's the most in the American League. By contrast, the Indians, who have struck out 9 times today, have fanned 834 times for the season. That's a difference of 323 strikeouts. Tried with the second fewest number of strikeouts next to the Houston Astros. But the walk really gives Tampa some life now.
That's what it was back in the 6th inning, Matt. It was a 1-out walk before the home run was hit by Souza.
Fouls the fastball back 1-1.
Cody'd love to get a ground ball here. Ground ball double play.
Fastball fouled back again, and it's 1-2. Miller keeps hacking away at that fastball up. Counts, stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. 17,775 the announced attendance for the finale. And once again, a good number of them wearing Indians gear, and they have been heard loud and clear. The 1-2. Oh, he got him with a breaking ball. Locked him up with the curve, and there are 2 down in the ninth.
Yeah, he thought this was going to be a fastball. It started out, but no siree. It didn't stay on the same plane. Good curveball. And there's Gomes showing it. He gets the strikeout, out number 2.
Adeiny Echeverria 0 for 3 to the plate. Cody starts him off with a curveball for strike 1. Up and away. Runner goes, pitch swung on and missed, throw down. It is not in time. Souza Jr. barely in there ahead of the tag with his 9th stolen base of the year.
Well, they took a chance, and he wasn't paying attention, didn't have a big lead. He looks back in, he sees he's got to go, and they could not get him. It was a breaking ball. Gomes did a really nice job to pick it and throw it, and just not in time. Oh, they want to go. Indians going to challenge here, I guess, but it looked like he was safe.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that would give him a real clear shot at overturning this.
Looks like it's going to be fast. Yeah. Oh, these guys are talking. Carapaza and Cuzzy, who's the crew chief.
Well, with 2 down here in the 9th, as you can see on your lower third there, the scoreboard, you got 2 strikes on the batter. So here's the good news.
Yeah, he never tagged him.
That's going to be the question.
Yeah, but
Did
you
he
see
nick
how
him, though?
far in front of the bag he is? He's not going to tag him though like that. He had to be back far, you know, to the bag if he had a chance at him. He's way in front, and then you have to reach back, and it doesn't give you the distance to tag him. He's got to be about even with the bag if he's coming up.
Well, again, it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Adeiny Echeverria. And the Indians fans behind the Tribe dugout all getting up on their feet now. Here is the 1-2. Upstairs. Two balls and 2 strikes with 2 down in the bottom of the 9th. Foul back, he stays alive.
You know, he stayed on the breaking ball. He didn't give in. He lives for another pitch. This guy can't believe it. He says, come on, get this final strike, this final out.
The 2-2. Swung on and missed. He struck him out to end the game. Tribe takes 3 out of 4 by winning the finale 4-3. Corey Kluber the win. He goes to 11-3. Cody Allen the save, his 21st. And the Indians will leave town with a mark of 63-52. Tampa falls below 500 at 59-60. And so the Indians with a hard-fought victory here this afternoon. Corey Kluber gives up 3, but the offense comes back. It's a big home run from Austin Jackson to go ahead, and the bullpen nails it down behind Brian Shaw and Cody Allen.
Well, and the Indians, after losing game 1 of this 4-game series, come back and win the next 3. So they remain undefeated in 4-game series. They're now 4-0-1. Kluber gets